finally a Leaf win. It took a little while, but we finally got it. Tonight's game against Calgary had a lot of pace to it. Pretty much the whole night, but right off the hop, it was very quick. But it was one of those games where the chances weren't easy to come by. The shots did end up like 33-31 Toronto in the end, but a lot of the shots were kind of half chances that were partially blocked or whatever, or they came from the perimeter because it just took so much to fight to get a good chance that it was really hard to pile up really high quality scoring chances. So, and that's why the score ended up only 2-0. I think both teams played pretty well defensively in terms of limiting those high percentage opportunities. So, one aspect of the Leafs' current skid I wasn't aware of is that they had been scored on first. Sorry. In every one of their losses. They've lost the last 6 to 7, and in every one of those losses, they've been scored on first. So they've been playing from behind the whole time, which makes sense. It's hard. Scoring first is a big advantage. It doesn't always mean you're going to win, but it's a huge advantage. So in this game, it looked like the first period was going to be scoreless, but with about a minute and a half left, maybe. The Leafs managed to keep the puck kind of along the left side boards, and it was chipped down into the corner where Spezza was waiting, and the puck was bouncing, and he finally managed to corral it, and it looked like he was like a really bad angle, and he had no chance, and he just roofed it far corner, right inside the post. Really good wrist shot that caught Riddick, kind of like, oh shit, that just happened, right? So 1-0 Leafs going into the second, and that seemed to really give them a good boost. And they came out in the second flying just and kept that pace going. And they would eventually be rewarded with 4.5 minutes left in the second, I guess it was. Galchenyuk, he must have picked up his first point as a Leaf on this one. He kind of was going back into his own zone and received the puck and just kind of quickly backhanded a pass up to Tavares on the right side, who was kind of streaking out of the zone. He chipped it over to Hyman, who was on the very left side, and Hyman just took it in around the back of the net, came out for kind of a wraparoundish type of opportunity, and put it not top corner, but kind of that awkward level of between the goalie's glove and his pad that seems so hard for them to defend. So 2-0 Leafs, and then they would shut it down from that point onwards. They were really up in shots at that point, but in the third period they kind of fell into that defensive shell mode, which allowed Calgary to catch up in opportunities and stuff like that. But Campbell got the start because it was a back-to-back situation, and he was really good. Like I said, for the most part, the high-quality chances weren't there, but especially in the third period, he made this pad stack save that was just awesome. He came across to the left and threw the legs out and stopped a really good chance and kicked it out. And he's just a really solid, calm type of goalie, and he just had another night like he's had his previous 3 wins this year. He's suffered injuries a couple times, so he hasn't played as much as he probably will have liked to have played by now. But he got in finally again and got another win, so he's been really good. Other than that, yeah, the Leafs, I wouldn't say there was anybody who stuck out as having an off game. There were some guys that were definitely more active than others and more noticeable, but everybody I thought had a pretty solid game at the minimum, and it finally translated into a Leaf win. They hit a bunch of posts tonight too. Matthews hit another 2 posts tonight on top of the one he hit last night. Like, he's had such a hard time scoring lately after being so hot early in the season, but you know what's coming when you start hitting posts that often. You're getting the chances and stuff like that. They're just you just don't have the luck. So I expect him to start scoring again anytime soon. And I thought Simmons had a really good game for only being his second game back after such a layoff. I thought he was really good. So yeah, and then the Leafs' whole defensive core, which had been a strength the whole season up until that skid, which is, it's such a nice thing to say that the Leafs' defensive core has been so good this year, because usually when you're talking about a Leaf team, their defense is their Achilles heel. It's the worst part about their team and their game. They just can't seem to play defense. But this year, it's the additions they've made and the growth they've made as a team. It's now just another part of their team. Good defense, good offense, good goaltending, good everything. The special teams, though, that's the other area that needs to be hopefully addressed somehow, because I mean the Leafs were first. Oh, holy shit! I think they were first in power play for a long time, and then they bumped down to second, and now they're down to third, I believe, because they just can't seem to score a power play goal anymore. Last night they had some power play opportunities and looked pretty good, just couldn't get the goals to go. But tonight on their power plays, they didn't look in sync at all. So, being that it's such a dangerous part of their game, that is something they have to work out, and probably explains why they have gone on such a skid. Is that, usually when they get some power play opportunities in a game, they at least score once, right, on the power play. But lately, they're just throwing up goose eggs on the man advantage. So, and then their penalty kill, which at the beginning of the year was so aggressive, they were doing so well on it, even generating chances with some of their speedy, crafty guys that would play on the PK, and it too has kind of fallen quite a bit. Their PK was good tonight; they killed every man advantage off, but on the converse side, they also didn't score any power play goals. So, both of those areas need to be kind of addressed and sorted out. And I think if they do that, now that they got Campbell back as in the backup spot, I think hopefully tonight's game should be the start of hopefully a more normalized rest of the schedule, where they win more than they lose and they don't have another big streak of losses pile up. So hopefully this is the start of a new win streak, but we will find out soon enough. I haven't looked at what's next. I figure with back-to-back games last night and tonight, we won't be seeing one for at least another couple nights. So, but either way, I will be here, sitting in my basement, talking about it to myself, and you can choose to watch it if you want, and although you probably won't.